We've got an extremely exciting event here in Brighton. We have the first annual Eco Run, and it's starting here in Brighton on its way to London, Ontario. It is fashioned after the run in the UK, which is the opposite, which is London to Brighton. There's a number of energy efficient vehicles that are being brought forward by the manufacturers to consciously make us aware of how important it is to continue to strive to get all the mileage out of these vehicles that we can, and not focus so much on fossil fuel.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. That dude. Good to go? Have a good trip.
One of the most famous automotive events in the world is the London to Brighton vintage car run in England, which is for vehicles older than 1905. And we just sort of casually one day said that's something we could do here from London to Brighton or the other way, which kind of gelled into turning the whole idea upside down and starting in Brighton, going to London, instead of using vintage cars, using the latest technology, fuel-efficient vehicles.
We have a few initiatives that help promote manufacturers to develop vehicles that have technologies like the vehicles that are present here today to encourage drivers to drive fuel efficiently and save fuel. So we give awards to the manufacturers annually who build the most fuel efficient vehicles in 10 different classes. And so that way we're hoping that manufacturers are encouraged to equip their vehicles with the technologies that allow consumers to reduce their fuel consumption.
What we're trying to accomplish with this event. The Eco Drive, the concept behind the whole program is that it's an opportunity for us to show the public the latest fuel-saving technologies. We've got 14 manufacturers here with us who have brought the absolute cutting-edge vehicles to this event. Every one of these vehicles, from the electrics right up to the Porsche and the Mercedes, all have features in them that are cutting-edge fuel-saving technologies, and that's what we're here to demonstrate to the public as we go across this part of southern Ontario. That there are ways to combat to ease the pain at the pump, and of course not everybody's going to be able to run out and buy a new Mercedes or whatever, but we also have tips for consumers on how they can improve their fuel mileage and again ease that pain.
The whole intent is to try and get the point across to the public that they're, in the face of all the rising gasoline prices, there are a lot of alternatives there that they can buy right now or soon will be able to, that can help them save money at the gas pump and do something good for the environment at the same time.
It is a fantastic event for Brighton. We're thrilled to death that they were able to participate and host this event, and look forward certainly to them being here next year.
The mass media has been very much focused on electric vehicles, and certainly there is a place for electric vehicles. You can see we've got 4 pure electrics, a couple of plug-in hybrids, and several other hybrids here, so they're definitely part of the mix. But there's no silver bullet to solve the whole challenge of fuel efficiency.
we recognize that not everyone has the money to buy the vehicle that has the best technology, range issues with electric vehicles, etc. So the first pillar of our program is we encourage consumers to buy the most fuel-efficient vehicle that meets their everyday needs. And we publish the annual fuel consumption guide to do that. So consumers can use the fuel consumption guide to select a style of vehicle that fits their needs, and then choose the one that's most fuel efficient based on that.
Adjust your driving habits. Be sure your vehicle maintenance is up to snuff, that the car is able to perform at its maximum efficiency. So these types of things this is the message that we're going to try and get across over the next 3 days. And this is the start of it.
Fuel efficiency is improving hugely for the manufacturers level. The other message that we want to get across, and particularly Natural Resources Canada, which is one of our sponsors, wants to get across, is that just as important as the technology is how you drive. And you can save a lot of fuel just by driving in a fuel-efficient manner. And I think the gentleman from NR can speak a bit to that this morning. Certainly, fast acceleration, hard stops, so that you do have to accelerate hard again, and so on. Broad fuel mileage. Unfortunately, the rain will hurt it a little bit too. Rain and snow certainly detract from fuel efficiency. But there are a lot of alternatives available if people choose to avail themselves. That's the message.
I heard a beep.
I heard it too. No, the click is there, but the electricity is not here.
So did you record everything?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Now, we recognize that the biggest factor in fuel consumption is the driver himself, right? So we've narrowed it down, we've done a lot of testing, and we have 5 tips for drivers that they can use to reduce their fuel consumption. And with those 5 tips, we say that they can reduce their fuel consumption by up to 20%. At $1 a liter, that'd be over 20,000 kilometers, that'd be about $500 a year. So roughly a car payment, right, that you would save annually by exercising those 5 steps. So we want people to anticipate traffic, coast to decelerate. That's a big one. Don't speed up to a stoplight. When you see the light turn red, take the foot off the gas and let your car coast. When you're coasting, you're not using any fuel. We want people to accelerate gently. So try to take 5 seconds to accelerate to 20 kilometers per hour. Pretend there's an egg between your foot and the gas pedal, and you try not to break the egg or not to spill the cup of coffee that's on the dashboard. We also want consumers to obey the speed limit. So those are just some of the overall tips that we're trying to promote through an event like this one.
It's unfortunately the reality of most new technologies. When they first come to market, they're very expensive. You see things like outside the realm of fuel efficiency, things like skid control, electronic stability control, which began in the mid-90s as a very expensive option on very high-end cars. It's now mandatory on every new car. It was mandated as of September by the U.S. and Canadian governments. The price has come down dramatically in those 15, 20 years of its development. Almost certainly the same will happen with these technologies. You've got to start somewhere. And initially, it's probably only going to be very dedicated people who buy things like the electric vehicles. Toyota just introduced a new electric vehicle yesterday in California that's being built in Canada, in Woodstock, the RAV4 EV. But it's not going to be sold in Canada. And I suspect at least part of the reason for that is that it's being priced at $50,000 in the U.S. So it's probably going to be a while before that technology makes its way down to a price point that's going to be attractive to Canadians.